Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mufti Saab, how are you today? Thank you very much for taking some time out for us.
Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. And thanks a lot for making me part of your beautiful program that you do with ulama ikram to educate the Muslim Ummah. It's a wonderful effort, mashallah.
Jazakallah. Mufti Saab, as the topic we are going to be talking about today is regarding marriage. It's an issue that affects every Muslim at one stage in their life, but there's also a issue nowadays with divorce, which is quite high amongst the Muslim community. So hopefully, inshallah, the intention of our talk with yourself today is to hopefully get clarity in regards to both the roles of man and woman, the husband and wife, and also maybe going forward, inshallah, to get us the mindset of what Shariat requires of husband and wife, if that's okay.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the relationship of husband and wife in the most beautiful, comprehensive and perfect way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the men, the husbands, and he says, Hunna libasul lakum. They means your wives are your garment and you are their garment. You are libas, dress for each other. And if we look carefully, we will understand that libas, the garment, has a very special function, and that is to look after and protect our body. If we are feeling cold, the libas will protect our body. If we are feeling hot, the garment would look after our body. And libas covers our area of shame. And this gives a clear message that husband and wife should be in such relationship towards each other that they become protectors of each other, not abusers. And they must not do anything which would cause shame and embarrassment to the other spouse. So if we can start living our lives according to these standards, which are set by our Creator and our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the relationship would be perfect. And also, one major problem that we see is that we do not learn deen. Most of the married couples, they don't know what are their rights over each other according to Islamic standards, according to Sharia standards. People learn things from TV shows, from newspapers, magazines, those ignorant, non-Muslim professionals sitting and giving advice how a relationship should be between husband and wife. We are Muslims, our lifestyle is different. We cannot live like kuffar. So we have to have our own merits and our own standards. And because of wrong information that we receive, we build wrong expectations. And when those expectations are not fulfilled, then we start getting angry and start demanding, and that leads to then fight and sometimes divorce. The solution is that we need to go back to our basics, our Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his teachings. As in Arabic they say, Irji'u ila Nabi. Go back to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's where the peace is, that's where the harmony is, that's where the barakat is, and that's where the solution of your problems is.
Jazakallah. Mufti Saab, just going on the back of what you've just said there, could you mention to us, I know the topic is very vast and time is limited, but if you can just mention to us rights that a husband has, rights and responsibility a husband has, and rights and responsibility a wife has in a marriage, just so our viewers could get obvious.
Both have rights, both have duties. They're not similar in their biological structures, they're different. Therefore, their responsibilities are different. One should not try to be like the other or be equal to the other. They both are special in their own ways. There are responsibilities that husband has to fulfill, and there are responsibilities that wife has to fulfill. Indeed, both have rights over each other. That's a partnership that they have entered into. And Sharia would not suggest that one party's interests are looked after and other parties' interests are abused or not looked after. That's not expected from our Sharia, because our Sharia is based on natural laws, and the nature does not sanction injustice. The nature does not sanction unfairness. So in whichever way you see, there is fairness, and there are duties that each other has to perform towards the other partner. Husband, of course, because biyadihi uqdatun nikah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept the knot of nikah in his hand. And ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa. Men are guardians over women. So they have a degree over women because they have more responsibility. And there has to be one person in charge or officer, otherwise the system will not run. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given that duty to man, but this does not give him a license to abuse. This does not give him a license to swear or insult his wife. She has right of protection. She must feel safe in his house, honored in his house. Shelter, food, needs must be fulfilled. So if both play their roles and fulfill their duties, that unit would be successful and exemplary. Otherwise, marriage will break very quickly because people have wrong expectations, and there's a power struggle, two opposition parties living under one roof. That would take you nowhere. We have to accept and acknowledge each other's rights and fulfill and honor and respect. Person does not get married to be insulted. People get married to get happy, to be happy. And if relationship becomes such that there's no happiness, one person is always angry or both are angry and abusive verbally, physically, of course that's not what the teachings of Islam are. These things are born out of ignorance and people's own wrongdoings or the standards that they have seen in their own families, and then they want to practice that. Our deen is very clear cut. Our deen is very just and fair. And our deen teaches us to fulfill the rights and protect each other. So therefore, and again, how would you know what are the rights of the husband and what are the rights of the wife if you don't learn your deen? You have to study your deen. And who should be teaching you? Not on the internet, Google, because most of the wrong informations would pop up first when you want to search something. And then you don't know what is right and what is wrong. So people should come in touch with authentic scholars of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and then learn deen directly from them. So inshallah there'll be barakah and they'll have better relationships and good marriages, inshallah.
Inshallah. Mufti Saab, you've mentioned obviously how in a marriage both people should be happy, not always angry, not always upset. The wife should feel safe in the husband's house. But say Mufti Saab, somebody's married and somewhere down the line they're both unhappy. What guidance does Islam give, like if you're in an unhappy situation, rather than automatically going straight into divorce? Does Islam give any guidance on what to do in that situation?
Yes, Islam gives clear guidance that there must be a process of reconciliation. People must be appointed from either side, from girls' side and from boys' side, who would then sit and try to find solutions and negotiate. So all these processes are suggested before people go for divorce. And also separation sometimes also helps in some cases, even though it's not necessary. It's better that people stay together, and if they have some miserable times, they will overcome, and living together has more chance for reconciliation than separating. But separation with their decision and mutual understanding and agreement is also not forbidden. Sometimes it can work. So there are many things that people can do before they really rush for divorce. Divorce is not good. No matter how much people say, no, we have thought about it and we have worked out everything, we have calculated everything. After a few years, they regret. And especially if there are children involved, then the regrets are even bigger. It becomes really difficult. So rather be patient and not let that marriage go and the relationship be wasted.
Jazakallah for that, Hazrat. Hazrat, just moving on swiftly, in regards to the next question, many people are under the misunderstanding regarding when a divorce actually happens, i.e. a husband gives divorce to the wife. So if a husband says divorce or talaq 3 times in one go, what is the Islamic ruling in such a case?
If person has given 3 talaqs in one go at one time, in one sentence, separately, or just saying the number of 3 talaq, in each case, talaq is valid and enforced, and it would be regarded as 3 talaq. On this issue, there is consensus of all the 4 madhahib, Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki, Hanbali, as mentioned by Hazrat Imam Nawawi in Sharah Sahih Muslim. He records the ijma', the consensus of all madhahib. And he says it very clearly that this is the viewpoint of Ahlul Zahir, that they regard 3 talaqs as one. And Allama Sawi has written very clearly in the tafsir, which is the Hashia of Jalalain, that this is the viewpoint of Ibn Taymiyyah, and Ibn Taymiyyah claimed to be Hanbali, and even the Hanbali ulama, they refuted his philosophy. So this is totally unpopular, isolated opinion, and somehow, unfortunately, when people are stuck in a problem, they would go even for that kind of opinion. In Urdu, they say, "Doobte ko tinke ka sahara." A person who's drowning, he would even try to find support from a tiny straw. Even that tiny straw might not help him, but he is thinking maybe it will help him. So this is what happens to people, that they have taken their 3 bullets out and the bullets have done the damage, and now they want an easy way for recovery. So 3 talaqs are 3 talaqs. There is no such thing as that 3 is equal to 1. That's like philosophy of Christians. They believe in 3 gods, and when you question them, then they say no, 3 is equal to 1. So it's something similar to that.
Jazakallah for that question, that answer, Mufti Saab. Mufti Saab, we have just got a question coming from one of our viewers, and they're asking, can a woman make it a condition in the marriage contract to have power for one divorce? Her divorce power will only apply when not uttered just by her tongue, but with the supervision of a scholar of Islam in any country and a lawyer of any country. And the person's also added at the end of that, the Khula system is abused by Islamic councils, and a husband has a lot of power involving this.
Yes, that what you are talking about is called the tafweed talaq, mean power of attorney transferred to wife to divorce. So that is jaiz. Person can do if they have reached an agreement. So if that power is given to wife, then according to the power, the exact words, which would be then assessed by a scholar, what are the limitations of those words that are written? Because the true interpretation of words in Islamic matters can only be explained by a practicing, well-versed expert in Islamic jurisprudence. Normally we call him a mufti. And as far as the khula system is concerned, sometimes, yes, it can be abused. And in fact, people should fear Allah in every matter. Councils of ulama or any authority, they should also fear Allah. The man who is doing khula is actually selling talaq. If I put it in easy words, woman is buying talaq. She's paying in order to get talaq. If people can't make their life together, one should set her free and let her go, so he can live his life and she can live her life. But people are sometimes very greedy or very stubborn, or they want to punish the other party or make it difficult, so they demand big things. So that poor woman who wants to get out of that marriage, maybe it could be an abusive marriage, but then she has to pay money for that. She has to buy talaq. It should not be encouraged, actually, but because it's a procedure, it's an option, so a lot of people then take that option.
Jazakallah for that, Mufti Saab. Right, okay, Mufti Saab. Mufti Saab, now in regards to the other aspect of a marriage, children, if mother and father, so a husband and wife, argue amongst themselves, what advice can we give to children who tend to take sides? What does Islam say if you see your mother and father having a disagreement, what to do in such a scenario?
Well, as far as children are concerned, they have to honor and respect their both the parents, father and the mother. They should not side and be, you know, party to one group and be against the other group. Uh, they are ordered to honor both of them, mother and father. But unfortunately, what happens that whichever of the parents have access to children, they poison the minds of the children. That's where the biggest problem is. If children are with the mother, mother will keep on poisoning. For everything, she will say something. Uh, your father is like that. He did that. Because of him, we suffering. Because of him, this happened. Because of him, that happened. Now, child grows up listening that over and over, over and over. In his mind, the father's figure is like a monster. He's a very dangerous person and he's evil. And now he or she, they become man or woman, the adults. So it's very difficult to bring them together close to each other. And if the small children are under the influence of father, then he does the same thing. So these are wrong things. These are false allegations there most of the time. And it's just their own frustration, and they make children involved in that. And definitely children suffer. And they have a lot of damages, psychological damages. They have a lot of complexes because of these kind of conditions, of parents. So they're doing no favor to their children when they're talking against the other partner. They're damaging their children more. And when they grow up, they would not be most of the time with mother and not with father. So nobody wins. There's no win-win situation in this kind of behavior.
Jazakallah, Mufti Saab. And Mufti Saab, in this instance, if the mother and father are separated, does Islam give any guidance in regards to who the child should stay with, whether it be mother or father? Is there any?
Yes, Islam gives guidance in every aspect of our life. If they are separated, divorce happen. See, Islam would look at this time the welfare of the child. What is good for the child? Because mother and father who are divorced, they are adults. They can, decide for themselves, and their life of tarbiyat and training and upbringing has been completed. Now they complete men or complete women. But these children, they need that. And even in the case when there's a divorce, they should not be deprived. So when the child is very small, child needs mother more than anybody else. And then there's a time when child needs discipline, because children, they have a lot of natural habits, and a lot of natural habits need to be molded, and a lot of things need to be corrected. And the person who has bigger, stronger authority to help children, to mold them, and sometimes to keep them in a particular discipline is the father. So then Islam says, okay, up to certain age, 7 years, you need mother, child need to stay with the mother. And then they're growing up, when they start becoming bigger, bodies are building, they're now becoming powerful, and they start becoming very naughty. And at that time, they need a figure around them that they can fear and stay within limitations. So then the order is stay with the father. And when the child becomes baligh, then it is the choice of the child to stay with the father or with the mother. And this is perfectly fair and just for the growth of the child. And this is the solution that Islam gives.
Jazakallah for that answer, Mufti Saab. Mufti Saab, somebody has asked a question. Is there any time frame for the 3 divorces?
Well, if somebody really wants to give divorce, then he should give one divorce in tuhur. Tuhur is that state of purity after menses. When woman completes her menses and she is in tuhur, that is now the pure state. So one should give one talaq in tuhur. And then let that tuhur go, and then has, and then after the has there will be second tuhur. So he can give one talaq in the second tuhur, and then wait for the third tuhur and give talaq in the third tuhur. If he wants to give all 3 talaqs, then that's the correct way. But the issue here is that, and a lot of people's confusion revolves around this issue, but he didn't do the right way, so how can talaq be valid? So the ulama ikram have said that he did not do the right way, he's a sinner, but the damage is done. So whether he does the right way or he does the wrong way, damage is still done. 3 talaqs are valid. I have to in 4 minutes go to another silsila. You know, we have a fundraising for our Jamia, and starting at 9 o'clock, and I just need to get ready to get to my other program. And thank you very much. It was a short time, but inshallah hope to be with you guys again.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for your time today, Mufti Saab. Jazakallah.
You're welcome. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa